Imagine this. It's December 24th, 2025. You're standing in line at a packed Target in suburban Ohio. Holiday lights twinkling everywhere, kids tugging at your sleeve. But then your phone buzzes. Another credit card bill notification. Hits you right in the gut. See, the average unpaid balance for folks like you, it's $7,321 now, up almost 6% from last year, according to LendingTree's latest numbers. And get this, 1/3 of holiday shoppers just piled on an extra $1,223 this season, CNBC says. You swipe anyway. Why? Because those ads, they promise relief. A big-name celeb pops up on your Facebook feed, smiling wide. Slash your debt by 50%. Banks hate this secret. Your heart skips. You click. Hope sparks. But deep down, that little voice whispers, is this too good to be true? Yeah, that spark, it's not hope. It's the hook of a $10.46 billion trap. The U.S. debt settlement industry, folks, and it's ballooning toward $18 billion by 2034, Precedence Research projects. This isn't some fly-by-night scam hiding in the shadows. Nah, it's a well-oiled machine built on pure desperation, preying on that $1.1 trillion in total U.S. household debt, with credit cards alone clocking $1.13 trillion this fall, straight from the Federal Reserve. Veterans down in Texas, seniors up in Florida, factory workers grinding it out in Michigan, they're all in the crosshairs. And in this economy, with delinquencies jumping 3.6% quarter over quarter, like the St. Louis Fed's been warning, who wouldn't take a swing at relief? All right, let's pull back the curtain here. Not with a bunch of dry lectures or endless spreadsheets, no way. We're talking real stories, ones pieced together from whistleblowers, sharp lawyers, and those hard stats that just don't lie. Picture Sarah, a 52-year-old nurse from Atlanta, divorced last year, medical bills stacking up like a bad game of Jenga. She spots this ad, debt backpack method. Stars love it, banks bury it. Calls up, figuring it's a consolidation loan to tide her over. Rep's voice, smooth as sweet tea on a porch swing. Ma'am, rates are through the roof right now, but hold on, I've got something way better for you. Click. Just like that, she's in, stops her payments cold, trusts these so-called experts. 6 months later, lawsuit papers slapped right on her doorstep. Credit score? Tanked from 680 to 520. And trust me, that's no outlier. Experian pegs the average balance at $6,735 by mid-2025, but for people in settlement, it's a straight-up nosedive. Why tell Sarah's story? 'Cause it's playing out everywhere, every day. Step 1, the lure. These outfits, big players like National Debt Relief, they don't hunt from scratch. They farm leads through shady affiliates. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, it's all fair game. Ads hit like precision strikes, micro-targeting you. Veterans, VA debt elimination, no one's talking about it. Fake Photoshop jobs mimicking Department of Defense headlines. Or seniors on Social Security, free forgiveness handouts waiting. The irony? The real VA website stuffs debt advice under a mile of fine print warnings, but the clicks? They flood in. FTC just busted one ring in July 2025. Imposters pretending to be government reps, shaking down elders and vets for upfront fees they straight up can't charge by law. You pick up the phone, heart pounding, thumb hovering over submit. Rep grabs the line. All right, let's run your quals real quick. Long pause, heavy sigh. Man, tough market out there, huh? But listen, you qualify for our rapid relief plan. It's all scripted, word for word, the so-called loan killer. One ex-sales guy, Miller, laid it bare. 70% of folks calling in, they're hunting loans for home fixes, car repairs, you name it. They walk away twisted into settlement. He said, it's like dangling a juicy steak, then sliding a can of Spam across the table. They rush the contract, muddle the fine print, and boom, you're locked in. No takebacks. That trust account they set up, your cash flows there every month, maybe 10 to 15% of what you originally owed, but your creditors, total radio silence. You're defaulting on purpose. Now the real grind sets in. Months drag on. Average programs, 24 to 36, insiders say. Your $10,000 balance? It ain't staying put. Penalty APRs fire up, 29.99% on most cards. Wallet Hub tracks it. Late fees? $40 a whack, piling like snow in a blizzard. 6 months of ghosting? That debt balloons to $12,000, no sweat. Interest just compounds, like that one bad habit you swear you'll kick. All the while, the company's negotiating. They hype it up. We've got the inside track, right execs at Chase, Citi, the works. Tension builds, 40 to 60% off, guaranteed savings. But lawyers like Clifford out in D.C., they just chuckle. Same deal you could snag on your own. No secret Rolodex, no fairy dust. Time for that uncomfortable math. Let's walk through Sarah's numbers, rooted in straight 2025 reality. Start with $10,000 in unsecured stuff, credit cards, personal loans, the usual. You enroll. Quit paying. Balance creeps to $12,000 after all the fees. TransUnion's baked-in averages don't lie. They settle at 50%, $6,000 straight to the creditor. Company slice? 25% of what you enrolled, $2,500 easy. Your total hit? $8,500. But hold up. The IRS steps in. That forgiven $6,000 counts as straight income. In the 22% bracket, pretty standard for middle-class filers, that's another $1,320 due come tax time. Grand total shelled out? $9,820. Against your original $10,000, savings under 2%. And if a lawsuit drops, tack on $1,500 in legal headaches, Pew estimates. Most folks bail by month 18 anyway. The calls won't stop. The stress, it eats you alive. Hype versus reality? Those ads are straight poetry. One easy payment, debt-free in months, poof. Celeb voiceovers ice the cake, and yeah, ironic as hell since folks like Dr. Oz hawked this kind of snake oil back in the day, got slapped with millions in fines. Reality? Delinquencies are roaring back full force. St. Louis Fed, 90-day rates spiking across the board, slamming Gen Z hardest at 9.5%. Your credit? Shredded for 7 years on the reports. Landing a job? Tougher with a 500 score staring back. Buying a home? Lenders vanish like smoke. And those lawsuits? They're everywhere, surging to pre-pandemic highs. Pew clocked 4.7 million debt collection cases back in 2022, but 2025, it's hotter. FTC tallied 140,000 complaints just in Q2, triple last year's burn. FDCPA suits up 15% month over month in May, legal trackers show. In spots like Texas and New York, they clog half the court dockets. Garnishments hit next, 25% of your paycheck yanked. One veteran I heard about lost his truck, repossessed over a measly $3,000 settlement that went sideways. And the absurdity, it sneaks in everywhere. AI-generated faces in those ads? Dozens of tweaks. Does the single mom yarn hook 'em or the blue-collar dad? They're A/B testing lies for max clicks. Dystopian, right? Imagine the Treasury's December warning. Holiday debt scams exploding. Fishers masquerading as relief pros, snagging SSNs in the Black Friday chaos. Affiliates snag $100 to $300 per lead. Companies rake 25% fees off trillions settled yearly. Vulnerable crowds get hammered hardest. AARP says seniors over 65 filed 30 more complaints this year. Vets blasted with phony VA programs. One bust in July, fraudsters pocketed $2 million in illegal upfront cash. Pull back further. This ain't just rogue greed running wild. It's woven into the whole system. Household debt topping $17.8 trillion this quarter, New York Fed reports. Mortgages alone up $137 billion. Inflation shadow still hanging. Groceries 20% steeper since 2020. Wages flatlining for half of us. Settlement, it blooms in those cracks, dangling escape but handing out heavier chains. Regulators poke around. FTC's 2025 crackdowns, AG probes in California and Illinois. But the ads? They evolve, quicker, sneakier. Darker data pools keep the beast fed. So, if this road is a dead end, what's the play? Stories like Sarah's? They wrap with choices. Hit up nonprofits like the NFCC. Free counseling, zero bait and switch. They break down your budget, dollars in, dollars out. Just a temporary snag? They negotiate without the default circus. Deeper in the hole? Bankruptcy lawyers. Chapter 7 wipes unsecured debt clean. Fresh start, credit bouncing back in 18 months. Clifford puts it plain. 40 grand on a fixed income? That's your real reset. No judgment, just the math. Chat with one. First consult's always free. But here's the gut punch, that knot you can't untie. As 2026 rolls in, with average state debts pushing $6,523, worst in D.C. at $9,200, visual capitalist charts, how many more Sarahs are going to chase the next shiny secret before the whole thing cracks? Or will we push back, demand real fixes, transparency, fee caps, actual relief? That ad's still lurking in your feed, waiting. You gonna click or step away, a little wiser?